Cool. All right, well, thank you for coming, everyone. My name's Manav. I'm a product manager on Dynamics 365 for Talent, and I have one of my favorite partners here from Windows.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eleanor. I am a program manager in Windows driving onboarding.
Cool. So the fact that you guys are here means that you've started thinking about your talent, about your people, and about HR. But why does onboarding matter, right? If you're gonna attack the HR space, if you're gonna try to cut a slice out of it, why should onboarding be something you worry about, right? Because historically, the thought process has always been is onboarding is what does it take for me to get someone to start at the company. Once they're in and it's day one, it's just they'll figure it out, right? They'll find where they need to go. They'll find who they need to meet. But what we found is the truth is they most likely won't. If you don't optimize the experience from day one into month 3, month 6, and year 1, they may not have a year 1, right? They're probably just going to leave. And why should you care about leaving? And I think this is where I'll have your attention. Because you lose money. It will affect your bottom line directly. What we've seen is that it can cost up to 200% of someone's annual compensation to be able to replace them and to be able to backfill a position. That's a significant cost to incur for considering the amount of time and the investment that goes in to bring someone into the company in the first place. But let's say you were successful and they were here still a year in, maybe 2 years in. For them to have the best kind of impact and for you to provide an environment for them to have the best kind of impact, they need to feel like they're part of a community, right? They need to understand what their role is as part of the bigger picture, what their purpose is, because it's as much about the people that you work with as it is about the work itself. So so they need to feel integrated, because if they're not, they're just going to leave. So the pain points that I mentioned, they're not unique to you guys or to ourselves. We're not immune to these in Microsoft as well. And Eleanor in Windows, you had some of these pain points as well, right? You want to talk about that?
Yes, we definitely did. So I started looking in the onboarding space about a year ago, and the first thing always is to go out, ask your customers what you're feeling. And my goal was to go out to new hires and find out what they need to do to ramp up on their team. What do they need to do to start being productive right from the beginning? So it was, a couple of sad coffees, because they all told me that they started struggling as soon as they arrived, because there was no welcome experience. There was no set onboarding experience for them to walk through. So I heard story after story of people running around trying to figure out what they needed to do, how they were supposed to do it, and who to ask when they got stuck. So it was really clear they wanted something better, and they had expectations for onboarding that we weren't meeting. So one of them is new hires absolutely want that clear process, especially if they're raring to go and they're excited for that job you hired them for. So enough with the running around is what they told me. Secondly, new hires expect onboarding content that's relevant to them to be discoverable. So they often would tell me, I spent a couple of hours looking up the wrong thing because I didn't know it had nothing to do with my project. And the last thing is, new hires want to connect with the people around you. As Manav just said, it is so much about the people you work with as much as the work itself. And so they want to know who's around them, so when they get stuck, they can go and ask for help. So with this in mind, to deliver this kind of experience for new hires, managers are completely key. So it was time to definitely go talk to the managers and see how they found onboarding. Sadly, they were also really frustrated on their side with the onboarding experience. They described it to me as highly manual and error-prone and very labor-intensive to maintain and to repeat for every new hire. So they clearly had a wish list for onboarding, which they let me know. They want it to be a lot faster than what they were doing today. They want it to be a lot easier to maintain and repeatable for every new hire that they get. And they weren't also a fan of all the running around. They wanted one place to go to put together the experience that was perfect for their new hire. So I had my 2 wish lists, and I started looking at all the different tools Microsoft offers, and the one that checked off all the boxes without fail was Onboard. So I reached out to Manav.
Cool. So now that we've seen the pain points that she had and we've seen in the industry ourselves, when we started building a solution, we sort of focused on 3 major pillars, right? The first one is, as I've said before, if you as a manager, you as an organization, if you're not going to help your new hires set up for success, they're not going to be able to have the best kind of impact. And the way we allow you to do that is using the concept of an onboarding guide, which Eleanor is going to show in a little bit, right? So an onboarding guide is essentially a curated list of content. It's in the form of activities, contacts, resources, anything that you think is valuable for the new hire to know to have the best kind of impact. Once they've started interacting with their onboarding guide, you have the transparency and the visibility to track them as they move along the process. As they march towards onboarding success, you can see which activities they're checking off, which ones are popular, which ones are late, which ones are overdue, and you can all see that within one single view. And lastly, and again, most importantly, it's about the people. It's about the connections you make. It's about the network you build. If you don't grow your network within the first 6 months, within a year, very likely you're actually not going to stick around very long, right? So we've allowed this notion of contacts, and we also have integrations with Office 365, where we intelligently query your graph, see who you work with, see who the new hire is going to work with, and then bring all those and recommend those contacts to you available within the context of that one onboarding guide. So we built this product about a year ago. We met Windows, we met Eleanor, and Eleanor, why don't you talk about how you were able to adapt the product to meet your needs within Windows?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, if I can, I'd love to show you.
Sure.
Because I always think a demo is good. So I'm going to
Sure.
switch over to my screen. Awesome. So if you'll indulge me, let's pretend we're a new hire. We're a new developer in Windows. Our name is Phil. We're very excited. We get here after new hire orientation. We open up our email, and right there, there are the steps that I need to do to start getting oriented. I find my new hire guide. So I open it up, and there it is. The first thing that I see is a big, bold welcome message. I know where I am. I'm on Windows. I'm in the right place. That's good. The overview also tells me what the guide contains. It looks promising, so I'm going to start scrolling down. Immediately I can see, okay, I can recognize a checklist. I know what to do with the checklist, so this is really exciting. I can start to see that that first section is meant to settle me in. I'm going to figure out how to use the shuttle system, how to find the people around me who matter, like my onboarding buddy or my manager, and then open up select your computer. What's really exciting to me is in this activity here, I can actually start engaging right within the activity itself. I don't have to go anywhere. And as a new developer, I get a Surface laptop and I can order it right from the guide. Also, as I keep scrolling down, I noticed each of these activities are things that I can expand. And I can read more about the steps, for example, to set up my computer. I also noticed in the description are these great links, and I soon find out there's further instructions on the absolutely amazing wiki that we have in Windows. So if the description is not enough, I know where now to go get help. The last thing I start to notice is, hey, all of that relevant documentation I also want to know about can be attached to an activity. So the running around that I've heard can often happen during Onboard is not something that I have to go through. Besides getting settled in, I start to learn about Microsoft. I start to learn about the org. And knowing all of this stuff allows me to understand, as a new hire, how my work provides value. So this is really what I want to know when I first start, where I am sitting in the org and what I do matters. And lastly, as the guide goes on, I can start to see, all right, I get to know my team. I get to spend some time with my manager and learn about my project. I get to find out what OneNotes and what SharePoints and all of the different things that I need to know to get started on my team immediately. It's all right here in the guide. I can also scroll up. You know, Manav and I keep talking about people. People are so important. And here are all the people that Phil needs to know to start on his job. We've got Jill here. She's a Windows insider. We also have got Manav, my PM. I should go talk to him about my project. Missy, she owns the wiki. Steve, he's my lead. I should talk to him as well. And then I see, they've given me Emma, my onboarding buddy. So I can start to see immediately I have a support structure, which is really important to me because I at least know who to go to when I get stuck. And lastly, we've got Sil and Zygmunt. They're going to be devs on my project as well. So I feel like I'm covered. The last point here in the guide is resources. So all of those attachments that I saw in my activities are all here in a list, so I don't have to go back and flip through every activity trying to find that link I found last week. It's very convenient. So as Phil, the new hire, I'm feeling pretty good. So let's switch hats and now look at Phil's manager, Steve. What view does he see? So we're now looking at Phil's guide, but from a different perspective, from Steve, the manager's perspective. You can see on the left-hand side, it's the same. We've got that warm introduction, activities, contacts, and resources, and it's pretty easy to use. I can expand any of these activities, write something, add some links, add attachments, even add new sections and new activities. I can also, add more contacts in case I remember somebody that Phil should reach out to. What's really great as well is if I hover over it, I get way more information. I get to learn, for example, where to find Jill in the office, who she reports to, what her LinkedIn profile is even. Of course, this is a lot of content, and as a manager, I want to save time and effort, so it takes a village to build this kind of content. There are two ways Steve, the manager, can add people in. The first way is to add in a new activity, and instead of assigning it for the new hire, Phil, to complete, I can actually assign it to Emma, the onboarding buddy, which means that now Emma's got a task she's got to complete to make sure the onboarding experience is ready to go. The other way that I can get more people involved to make sure this is all correct is to add a contributor. And this is something we use so much in Windows, so I was grateful to see it. When you add a contributor, that person can co-edit alongside you. One of the best practices is to add the latest new hire on. They've already been onboarded, but they certainly know the tips and tricks that they get from their perspective. So you can add them here so they can go through and add anything that's missing. All right, so Steve's feeling pretty good. The guide looks like it's ready to go for Phil. And he can see now, he can schedule when the guide should be sent, which is wonderful. It means he doesn't have to remember to go back, click send. Things are so crazy sometimes when new hires come, it's one less thing to remember. So Steve is set to go for Phil, but you know what? He's got 3 more new hires coming in the next couple of weeks. So what he can do in Onboard is actually save his work as a template. So let's say Steve does that. His template is called Windows. Now he can use this template to create future guides for every new hire that he has coming along. So not only is he set up for his current new hire, he's set up for the rest of the summer, for next year, for as long as he wants. So.
Cool. All right. That was the actual product, guys. This is it. This is the real thing. So Eleanor started the journey sometime early this year in January, and sort of made the product her own. It's been 9 months. I know you started off with a pilot and have sort of gone since. Can you show everyone how the progress has been, how it's been received?
Yes. I know, time flies. So our initial pilot went amazing. We had really, really good results. I'm showing them here on the screen. For that initial pilot where we just looked at devs, we had about 33 new hires. That's as many that came in, and 92% of them found that guide right away, recognized what the checklist was, and dove in. And the funny thing is, when I reached out to those new hires who didn't open the guide, it turned out they just simply missed the email, which is something that happens to the best of us. They went back, saw the guide, and told me they very much wish they had had the guide because they spent all that time and energy running around, just like the old onboarding problem. The majority of them who did open the guide and got into it and saw how it was said they were satisfied or very satisfied with the experience. On the flip side, managers were also very, very happy with the experience. All of them said they were satisfied or very satisfied with the experience. We had about 29 managers included in this. And for them, 100% of them told me, yes, Onboard saved me time in onboarding my new hire, which is really my goal for managers, to reduce that time and effort. Another thing we look at in Windows is NSAT. So if you're not familiar with NSAT, it's the number of people who are super satisfied to the people who are not so satisfied. We calculate a score. Any score over 130 is a very strong score, and it means that people are really happy with the product. So our new hires rated this a 141, which we were delighted with, and our managers rated this a 131. So all in all, the pilot results were so good. At the beginning of this summer, we launched this across Windows.
Cool. All right, so they started off with a pilot. It went really well. They scaled it up to, to all of Windows, which is a fairly sizable organization, as you know. But for people in the audience, for those that are sort of have this same ambition as you had in January, that are just getting started, what are some of the lessons that you would recommend as they get started on their journey as well?
Yeah, like any good pilot, you always learn something. So here are my takeaways. The first thing is absolutely start with your end goal. Figure out what success looks like for you. And the reason I say that is onboarding is defined differently depending on your org or your company or your role. So in our initial pilot, I said we just looked at devs. So we looked at the end of onboarding to be their first pull request. When are they actually contributing code to their team? This allowed us to track what success looked like. Secondly, again, we need to make it easy for managers. It's something that we thought about from the beginning and something we pushed for during the summer, and it turned out to be the right thing to invest to. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who have the team-specific information, so the new hire can take action as soon as they get on the team, which is key. The third thing is, let's say you're a new hire and you get the guide, and that's a win. But everything in the guide is outdated or broken. Not so much a win. So it's important to make sure that content is useful, accurate, and well-maintained. The fourth thing is, definitely start with that pilot. Start with your next batch of new hires and figure out if the content is really what they need. It's a lot easier to tweak it at that level than before you go broad and everybody sees it and everybody's got an opinion. So pilots are a good thing. And lastly, win fans. One thing I learned this summer very well is that I am one person and Windows is a very big org. So the word scale comes to mind. I was very lucky that in my initial pilot, I had these enthusiasts who became my onboarding champs. And with their help to evangelize the tool across Windows and show their teammates how they can use the tool, this organic growth of using Onboard throughout Windows happened. And so by winning fans, that's really how Windows climbs on with this tool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your story, Eleanor. And I hope her story was useful to you guys as well. I want to double down on the point 4 that she mentioned, right? You can scale the product to meet whatever needs you have and be whatever you want it to be, but you got to start somewhere, right? I think historically with onboarding, it's a combination of just tribal knowledge, just emails, tasks list and OneNote and To-Do, and you can have aspirations, and that's great, but you have to learn how to make the product your own. And to that point, if there's one thing I'm going to leave you guys in this session with is just try the product, right? We're 100% SaaS. We like to hold ourselves to 5 seconds to sign up and 5 minutes to onboard. If that's not the case, my email's right there. Let me know. Send me some hate mail. But yeah, just try it. And the stuff that we've shared so far is important because at the end of the day, this is just a product. This is a tool for you to meet your needs. But you need a process around it. You need a strategy. You need to have a goal in mind. And Eleanor's team did an incredible job at it. And thanks for sharing your story. But you need to try this for yourselves, right? We have a 60-day free trial. So anyone can get started. And if you have any questions after that, my email's again over there. Please reach out to me. And I'm also super excited to announce that as of next week, we're going to have a bunch of curated onboarding templates ready to go. So let's say you're a PM or you're in marketing, sales, customer service. When you come into the product, we're going to have best practices on onboarding for each of those personas in the form of a template that you can just use right out of the box. Right? So you don't have to create those activities, although it's super easy to do. Just use it. Use one of the templates, add that extra 10%, that extra 20%, make it your own, and then start your onboarding journey. Cool.
Awesome.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.